Okay, so we're back at it out here on the car. I've been at it off camera quite a bit lately. I got the frame rail stripped, which I already highlighted. Got the control arms stripped, rebushed, and ready to install. I'm going to throw those in, pulled the steering arms and spindles off and strip those. They were coated in undercoating. Not a lot to see there, basically just me with a wire wheel going to town on some undercoating that's centuries old. But I got the frames already. On the springs, they're half coated with a quick shot of black spray paint. I'm going to roll them over, shoot the other side, and then get ready to install those. One of the things that came up was I had a 9-inch on order. It was not going to issue in time for me to make it to where I want to make it, which will hopefully come up here shortly. But I was able to go source something else. We'll see how it plays out, and I'll film that. But there it is. It is a 10 bolt out of a 99 S10, 373 posi with rear discs. So in theory, it should work well. I know it's not as strong as a 9-inch or a 12 bolt, etc., etc. Dana 60 insert rear end here, but it should be pretty good for what I'm trying to do. I'm not really worried about my 60-foot times. I'm worried about getting from point A to point B and doing some burnouts for fun, which I know will not be that good on a 10 bolt with a smaller ring and pinion, but it's what I could muster at the time, and it's $250 at the local pick and pull versus $2,000. So definitely looking forward to getting that in use. The other part is got the floor pan rough installed. It's not welded or tacked or anything like that. The rest of it's ground out. You can see the front lip of it right there laying on it. Pulled that out last night, much to my neighbor's amusement, most likely not. But once I get that welded in, get all the body bushings replaced, and then on to this kit here, which is the frame rail leaf spring relocation kit. So moving the springs in. Luckily, and we're gonna see how this all plays out, the spring perches on this measured the same as what the frame rails are, so it should be pretty close to matching, which would be a huge score for Tri-5 guys. If you can move your tires in, get a bigger tire, and then run one of those rear ends, you'd be better off. And I may play with this rear end and see what I can get out of it for, you know, the $2,000 I'm saving. Well, it was $2,000, $2,200 I think shipped here. And then I had to get brakes and paint it and put it together, etc., etc. Versus I blew my back out, so charge whatever you want for that. But loading that up by myself, pulling it by myself, and I'm gonna have to replace a brake line on it and figure out something for emergency brakes eventually. But I plan on running automatic, so I'm not that concerned about e-brake right off the bat. But it should bolt in pretty good. I may paint it, I may not. Just thought about that. And I may need to change the rotors. The pads look good from what I could tell. We'll see how they act once I pull a rotor. The rotors looked good, but don't know really what to make of them. There's a little bit of a scale on them, but there's no lip on them, and it doesn't feel like they were dragging at all, the pad or the internals to the pad. But I don't know how much damage they took when it was in salvage. But I may take it around the block and just try it, and if I gotta change the rotors, I'll probably change the pads anyways, so why not try it all at once. This probably is gonna have to go, but I got it for free, so I left it on there. And it'll just be those U-bolts to remove it, but I don't think it'll fit around the tank on a wagon. If it was a coupe, most likely I would say. And then I think I may have to axe that off just for cosmetics. And that was a, they had a bump stop on the rear end on those. So yeah, lots to do. Added lots to the project. Excited. Should start moving quickly, trying to make it to a show in Phoenix here in a few weeks, and a lot of work to do. I don't know what I'm doing for a front seat yet, so we may milk crate it down there, which I highly doubt. I'm pretty sure I'd get a ticket for that. With DMVs being the way they are right now, trying to navigate through that as well. So it'll be insured, and I'll have an appointment, and I may get a DMV inspection, but I may run this plate. Get it out in the sun. Pennsylvania 67. I got this from my dad at some point, but 67, I'll probably put this on my Nova wagon at some point. It's got Pennsylvania plates on it still, but I may just throw this on there for something. And it's from 67, so that's cool. That's what year my Nova wagon is, and it's one of my favorite years of cars besides tripods. So here we go. Gonna start throwing this front end together, hopefully get it together today with the steering arms somewhat connected. I may throw the rotors back, or the drums back on the front and move it to get to the rear end, but I'm not 100% sold on that yet. But here we go. Okay, so we got one spring in. It kicked my butt. First time putting in a front coil spring in a while. Used this kit that I got off Amazon. I taped over those just so it didn't really ruin the paint, even though I'm not too concerned about the paint. But it's in. I had to use my foot to press it into place because it wanted to retract a little sideways. But that's sometimes, I guess, what you gotta do. I don't know. I have new hardware coming for the control arms in these areas and all that. I'm gonna replace them one at a time, hopefully. So those will be all brand new. And I'm gonna put this one in, but it's gonna be more of the same. And I got a battery darn. So more to come on that. Hopefully I get this all done today. I'm gonna probably throw the wheels back on with the drums as bearings and mounts, and then potentially move this. It doesn't have brakes anyways. When I started pulling it apart, this line here came completely apart. I didn't cut that one. You can kind of tell that it's a little self-shredded, but pretty pleased with the way this side turned out. I need to order some shocks tonight, which will happen, but having completely painted, ready to go back together is somewhat pleasing, and hopefully can get further along. Still want to tighten up all the ball joints and grease caps, fittings, whatever, but that's something that'll happen. And I need to get some discs for the front of this, because obviously now I have discs in the rear, so don't want to be stopping better in the back than the front. I do have to figure out on something that'll be a bit later video, is how to do emergency brakes on this. The factory way the line came through here had some self-locking tabs, and then it hit this tab right here. It would pull that this way and lock. So we'll see what I gotta do there. I'm gonna have to take this from metric to standard to meet the rest of the car, but I'm gonna run or plumb a brake line from the front to the back off of my new master cylinder, which isn't here yet. So I do need to talk and order the tubing for that. Motor's got to come out. I may move the car, which is what I'm trying to discern right now. That's about what I do next, which is why I may throw the drums on, turn it around. I'm gonna leave that motor in there till the last second possible, because once I can't move it, she's stuck. And I'm not too crazy about changing it on an incline, which is what I'm on right now, but I may have to, based off of the space availability. So I'm gonna finish up that side and then be done. The camera's almost dead, only got 7% left, but thanks. Another beautiful day here in Vegas, getting a little tan on the arms, I guess, and hopefully we'll be road ready here shortly. We'll see. More to come. Bye.